Good morning and welcome to the Yorkshire Dales National Park. I was out camping last night in very cold temperatures. Forecast said it was going to be about -10 and it must be about right. I can show you because my water in my water bottle absolutely brick solid this morning. But got some lovely views here over Ingleborough, Whernside, so it's a great spot. But I thought what I'd do is in this little video I'd share with you the equipment that I used last night to be able to cope with the really cold temperatures that we had. So this has been my attempt to go for a sort of a lighter weight winter setup that I've tried sort of 2 or 3 times now. So I've used the Lanshan 110 rather than my Van Gogh Force 10 winter tent, which I've always used before, and there's some pros and cons to it. Now in summer or autumn the Lanshan one's great, gives you a nice usable space, but in winter you have a little bit more of a problem. That's because you get a lot of condensation. What happens is that on these tents that rely on tension, they easily start to sag, and the problem is that in winter it's very difficult to stop it from sagging when there's a lot of condensation. So what happens is that usable space kind of condenses a bit. However, saying that, as you look in here, plenty of space still for my rucksack on the outside and my cooking stuff down here. And on the inside I've got my sleeping stuff on the near side, and on the far side I've still got plenty of place to keep all my spare gear, my spare clothes, things like that. So yeah, still enough usable space in there. But of course the other thing you've got to think about in winter is, like, I was in there for a long time last night. I mean, I was in from maybe 5 o'clock in the evening till 7 o'clock in the morning, so that's 14 hours in quite a small space. For some people that might be a little bit too much. Right, let's have a look at the sleep system that kept me warm enough last night in these freezing temperatures. So it worked really well. Once I got my feet warm, I was fine. I slept really well from about 10:30 until 6:30 this morning, so yeah, I was perfectly fine. So first of all, got to have a decent pad to sleep on. So mine's Thermarest Neoair X Therm. I've had that a few years, still works really well. Got to have a good pad, otherwise you have the most expensive sleeping bag ever, it's not going to work. Just a pretty cheapy pillow, nothing flash about that. Then what I've used is, I've used on the inside this fleece liner that I've had for a long time, and that's because my sleeping bag I'm using is the what do they call it now, Leviathon, OAX Leviathon, which was a brilliant value bag, really good value bag, and works well to sort of I found works well to temperatures of just below freezing, but anything below that I find I need an extra liner, so that's why I've got the fleece liner with it. So they worked well together. And then on the outside of it I've got this Alpkit, I think it's a Hunker bivy bag, which goes around the outside. Now I'll just explain the reason for that. So a couple of reasons for that. First of all, it means that if I get any condensation, my bag's not going to get wet, because what I'm really fussy about is me getting my sleeping bag damp or wet in winter. I want to try and avoid that at all costs. So for that reason really, if I was going on for another night now, it means that I could pack my sleeping bag away really dry without any condensation on it, which is brilliant. But the second thing is also, when getting in and out of the sleeping bag as well, or getting out of the tent, if you kick up any bits of snow onto there, you can just brush them off. And again, it's just really to keep my sleeping bag dry. So yeah, I've liked that. That's worked really well. It's been a good system, that. Should just note as well that I used another footprint. It's actually the footprint from my Lanshan 2 tent underneath, just as a spare bit of protection for the ground sheet. Cooking wise, I brought my gas stove and just a titanium mug to do all my boiling of water in. I would say I think the gas stoves are fine to sort of freezing just below, but last night really struggling. Just managed to heat the water okay, but I'd probably next time go for a stove that uses liquid fuel. Be much better. So my rucksack that I managed to use was my trusty Osprey Exos 48. Yeah, I managed to fit it all in there, which was an absolute bonus because that rucksack's just really comfy to carry. I think the base weight was about 9.5 kilos. That's without water and food, which I didn't think was too bad really, you know, given all the sort of extra winter kit that I'm carrying. Just got the early morning sunlight now catching the top of Whernside. Absolutely beautiful. So other extra kit that I'm carrying over my sort of, you know, 3-season backpacking gear. Well, obviously I've got this big duvet jacket on. I mean, it's quite a hefty thing. I think it weighs about 750 grams, something like that. But well worth it for, you know, when you're at camp like this. Put it on straight away, keeps you nice and warm and toasted. That's been brilliant. So yeah, really big jacket, that's nice. And of course other things like, I don't know, I've got 2 pairs of gloves, including, you know, decent warm pair of gloves and waterproof pair of gloves. And then just, you know, things like I'm wearing a pair of long johns now I wouldn't wear in summer. A couple of extra tops on. So yeah, it just all adds a little bit up to the weight, doesn't it? But not too bad. So that's about it really. If anybody's got any questions or want to ask me about any of the kit that I'm using, or any thoughts or any suggestions how I could improve it, please let me know. But for now, I'm going to enjoy my second day in these beautiful surroundings. Till next time.